This is Ricky from Brute Force here with Toxic Crew.
Hey, hey.
What's up?
Hey.
Everybody, what's your names and what do you do for the band?
I am Milo, and I do that sweet yelling.
I am John, and I do that sweet bass.
I am also John, and I hit things and scream sometimes.
That's awesome. So, nobody really knows, but you guys are a three-piece. How does that work out for you?
Well, I think it works out pretty decently. I mean, it makes loading up the van like a little bit easier because there's not a fourth person with gear and shit like that.
Yeah, I think most of the band is probably taken up by the drums, honestly.
Yeah.
And it makes like the creative process a little easier because it goes through like less people, only three of us, kind of stuff.
All right. Well, speaking of the creative process, how does that usually go?
I'd say usually like what'll happen we practice like once, twice a week, and when we like start writing new stuff, like John will come in, the drummer John will come in with like a set of lyrics and like some type of drum idea, and he'll hand me the lyrics and he'll lay down some drum beats, and then John, Mr. Bass, just kind of
Yeah, please.
thank you.
That will all be transcribed.
Yeah. So then Mr. Bassman just kind of like will lay something over that, and then I'll come in with whatever lyrics are given to me, and then lay down some flowing too.
And then after that, over like a few weeks, we'll work and refine it and kind of change it up, mix it up, and then turn it into a song.
Yeah. Writing the lyrics itself is a whole process before that, because I'll write something and it might be just like really fucking long. And then I'll have to run it through Milo, and we'll sort of make it a little more concise.
Yeah, like I'll revise stuff, add stuff, take away stuff, and like I've only written one of our songs myself that wasn't like through you.
So.
Like, usually you do all the songwriting, but I've only done one of our tracks.
What song was that?
That was Pimp in Distress. That's a newer one, and we actually played that tonight, and that'll be on the album as well. That we're also working on.
That sounds like it's gonna be awesome. Could you tell us anything about that album?
Yeah, the album is kind of just like right now it's just a collection of songs that we've written since our formation. Like we put out a demo quite a while ago. Both of those will be redone and put on the album, and then we have songs that we wrote past year, and then we wrote like 3 new songs this year, and those are going to be on it too.
Yeah, I mean that's
that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any, do you know when it might come out?
Maybe late spring.
Yeah, probably late spring.
Yeah, definitely.
We're hopping in the studio like right when we get back to school at the end of January, and then I don't know how long it's gonna take to finish the whole thing, but we're gonna record it, produce it, master it, and then work on like promoting it and stuff. So probably late spring.
We got our guy Danny Caro working on it.
Yeah,
for us.
Yeah, he is actually the sweet drummer of a sweet band called Havenfield.
Yeah,
some good pop punk. Recommend that for anyone who likes pop punk.
So I'm gonna switch up the conversation a little bit. We want to know a little bit about your influences as a band, individually and as a whole.
Oh, I think we've definitely talked about this before.
Oh, yeah.
People have mentioned it to us. We each have our own separate taste, and then we sort of filter that together, and that's where like the core of our song comes from. Mm-hmm. So like for me, I'm sort of like the like overall metalhead, so like British new wave, and then for like modern prog metal. It's just like a pretty broad spectrum of metal. And then you've got,
and then I listen to a lot of punk, like pop punk, ska punk, or whatever. That's definitely been, like in our song Toxic Bukkake, the bass line is, well, I wouldn't say based on, but I draw inspiration from the song Bro Hymn by Pennywise.
Yeah. And then for me, like, I've always been pretty into like the core stuff, like metalcore, deathcore, hardcore, all that kind of shit. But like when it comes to like the music we make, I'm pretty influenced by like a lot of like modern day like hardcore bands like Lionheart. Can't think of what the fuck their names are right now. Yeah, it's like Lionheart, and then like like delivery wise, like a lot of like hip hop influence, shit like that, as well as like a little bit of deathcore and some of the newer stuff, but not always.
And then as a band, I think we draw a lot of influence from Knocked Loose.
Yeah,
Code Orange.
yeah, totally.
And then I try to bring in, at least with the drum parts, I try to bring in a little bit of flavor. Like, so I'll do a little bit more like kind of proggy shit because I take a lot from like Periphery and Gojira, a little bit of Meshuggah, and then, you know, sometimes I'll go like the total opposite end and just like fucking spray out some blast beats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We here at Brute Force definitely love some blast beats. Can you tell us a little bit about that song you mentioned about a minute ago, Toxic Bukkake?
Yes. That song is about. It's a story about.
It's a narrative.
It's about It's about all three of us coming on the same girl.
At the same time. It's just kind of
it's pretty self-explanatory.
it kind of explains like what's gonna go down when that happens, and how it's just gonna be a nasty mess.
Toxic Bukkake and the 9 layers of dick. Yeah.
No, is this based on a true story, or is this just all imagination?
Okay, in all honesty, we like to tell people it's a true story. So far, it's not, but things could change.
The reactions that were golden.
Yeah, I know.
Philadelphia, they were all just like, what?
Yeah, and then we played at the Loft, and I explained it, and I just saw looks of disgust at one point in the room, and I was like, I'm sorry.
So I think we're gonna get on like an ending point. We're gonna move on to some of your favorite things, like songs, activities, venues you've played at. Just name stuff like that. Let's start with favorite venues you've played at.
I'd say for me, that's a tough one. I think the favorite space I've ever played would actually probably be excuse me.
Transcribe that.
Favorite place that we've played was actually the radio station at my school that we work at. It's like this tiny ass little room with like a tiny wooden stage that only fit the drum kit, and we crammed 30, 40 people in that room and just had a great ass party. It was awesome. We brought out Husbandry from Brooklyn, and it was just a great time. And then I think another venue that I will always admire that I played at was a place called Upstate Concert Hall. That place it's in Clifton Park, and it was only a Battle of the Band show, but it was really cool to play on that stage because that's a stage I grew up going to shows at and seeing some of my favorite bands there. So just being on it was pretty sick.
That was our first show.
It was our
first official show.
It was our first show that wasn't
at the college.
Yeah,
it was the first actual show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think my favorite show that we played was when we played on that Bad Case of Big Mouth show in Jersey over the summer.
It was hot.
Game Changer. That was so much fun because,
if I may input, I love Bad Case of Big Mouth.
They're great. Yeah. Anyway, we come this hardcore band from New York that nobody knows at the time. Ragtag Bunch, exactly. We go there. We're not even done with our first song, and there are people throwing down.
Yeah, the whole floor just opened up out of the Bible.
Yeah, it was so cool. It was such a cool experience, and the people that work there are just great. Greg Diamond from Moss to Flames, he's our guy over there.
Shouts out to Elmo.
Shout out to Elmo. And then another one. I really liked playing at the Loft in Poughkeepsie. That was a really cool show because we were opening for Left Behind, and Left Behind is a cool band. And that was a cool night in general because it was a Wednesday night. It was kind of. Were we added on that last minute?
Yeah, kind of.
Wait. Lost?
Yeah. Were we? Or do we know about that?
No, I think we knew about that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I think it was so
yeah. But either way, it was kind of low key. It was our friends and the other bands, and it was cool. It was a cool time.
Yeah. For me, I'd probably say It's not really one of my favorite shows, but definitely an interesting space we played was the Nyack Village Theater.
That was a really cool interesting.
Because
Yeah.
it's an old like tiny movie theater on the second floor of a building, and we set up and played in there. It was a really poorly organized show. We came in and set up the whole thing ourselves the day of,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like the best show, but it was definitely really interesting.
Yeah.
But I think definitely one of my favorite shows has to have been when we played the radio station,
Yeah, that was really good.
because that was just that show was a hot, sweaty mess, and I
Yeah,
loved
it
it.
was great.
Oh my god. Everyone was throwing down in a place where they clearly should not have been throwing down.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. Other than that, it's been a lot of interesting spaces. I think the fire in Philly was also really interesting.
Yeah,
That was an entirely interesting time on its own.
That whole adventure.
yeah. Something.
The space was good. The show was meh. But I think definitely it was a fun time. Though.
Yeah,
Because
that was an accidental headliner.
yeah, accidentally headlining, but it was fun. It was small crowd, good energy. Though.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I actually really enjoyed the sidebar we just played. That was a cool space.
Yeah, no, that was
that was
great.
that was really cool space.
That
and
was
I
so
enjoyed-
great.
And the crowd there was really warm and welcoming, and we always enjoy that.
Yeah, that was a weird bill too.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's like acoustic, like poetry kind of stuff. Then us, then like acoustic pop punk, and then
A solo acoustic singer songwriter.
yeah.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any favorite bands right now, or any bands that you'd like to shout out? Limit to 3, please.
Oh, let me think. If we're gonna do shout outs, I'm gonna say shout out to Bedmakers from Long Island. That's my buddy Jerry. Shout out to you know what, Loner Spring. Loner Spring
Loner
also
Spring.
that's a band from my school. They're killing it right now. They're really great. And then one more, I'm gonna say Code Orange because hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we already kind of did a shout out for them. I'm gonna say it again anyway. Shout out to Havenfield because Danny is our guy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else should I shout out? Wolf Gone Astray, friend of mine from high school. It's his band up at Sacred Heart in Hartford, Connecticut. I think that's where it is. They're definitely cool. They're gonna release, I think, an album soon. Definitely check them out. And Husbandry from
yeah.
from Brooklyn. We played with them. They're really, really good post-hardcore. Like, they're gonna blow your mind.
I'm probably gonna say, first of all, big shout out to my guys in Shit Kill, some straight up New York City groove metal. They got their first full length coming out this spring. That's gonna be a hell of a time. Shout out to my guy Steven Sanchez, doing touring drums for Footage of a Yeti. He's killing it. And a shout out to Periphery. They're putting out a bomb ass record that I'm still listening to half a year later.
Yeah.
It's a good Periphery 3 is a good album.
That's a good, yeah.
You
That's a
hear that,
good
Misha? They love you.
album. Love you.
That's right, baby. Baltimore represent. You should have been at the show tonight, but you weren't.
Don't know where you want me, but you know Misha got shit to do.
Yeah.
He's a busy man. He's in Periphery.
Yeah.
So, and he's also a producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So, I think the last two things we're gonna end on is what's your, just like outside of music, what's your favorite activities to do?
Oh, man.
Masturbate. No.
No.
It is a hobby though.
Let's be real.
I am being real. I think outside of music, probably.
That's probably why you're so good at holding on to drumsticks.
But
Part of my warm ups.
He's not even kidding. Like
I am not.
the first
kidding.
half hour of our practice is just him jerking off.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's nuts.
No, we actually have an idea to put a system in place. So when we keep the kit on campus, so we know people won't use it, we can nut on my kit.
Yeah, because people use our like they just take our shit out of the gear room, so we're gonna start nutting on it to make it stop.
It's nice. Yeah, it's my own brand. I don't mind.
Totally different.
We are sidetracking so much. I guess my favorite activities aside from music, I mean, there's not a whole lot I do. I mean, I hang out with my buddies, we have a good time, and other than that, probably sleeping. I love sleeping, so there you go.
Let's see. Hobbies of mine. I have a few. I really love like the outdoors, going hiking and going camping. That's just a thing that's like always been a constant in my life. I was a Cub Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout. Like I've just been pretty much always been like camping or hiking or whatever. So it's just something I really enjoy. I'm a huge fan of. I don't follow too many sports that closely, but I follow Formula One really closely. I'm a huge fan. Mercedes.
Shout out to Lightning.
Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
You're an Eagle Scout. You told me that. I knew that. I think I carry mine. I looked at my phone thinking it was my wallet, but it's not.
Anyway.
Yeah. And trying to think on the spot. I can't like think of anything. I don't know. I get. I write. Oh, my major. I'm a journalism major. I like to write. Writing has always been like a passion of mine. I've just always really enjoyed writing. Like if I got a test in high school and it wasn't multiple choice, it was like an essay. I would always be like yes, because I'm better at that.
I wish I could say the same, man.
Yeah, I can't think of anything serious. I'm pretty fond of Let's Plays on YouTube. I don't know. I watch a lot of Game Grumps. I eat a lot of instant ramen.
There you go.
That's about it, honestly.
Basically, Drummer John is a huge weeb.
Oh, you don't even know. Yo, was that a JoJo reference?
No,
It was me, Tio.
But it was me, Dio. Yeah.
And then we're gonna end on what's your least favorite thing? Just anything. It could be anything. What's your least favorite thing?
My least favorite. Oh my god.
Thoughts.
Could be music. Could be anything.
That's a topic. Oh my god.
The more disturbing, the better.
I'm trying to think of something crazy here. Hold on. This is gonna be like a big blank for a minute. Hold on, let me think here.
What bothers me is when people share stuff on Facebook and form opinions when they really don't know what they're talking about. And like especially fact checking, like nowadays it's so easy. Like if you're saying something that's blatantly wrong, just like take a second and Google it. And like you say what you want, whatever. You don't have to listen to me. But like, if you want to sound like concise, understandable, you want people to respect you and like actually appreciate what you have to say. Do your research. Make sure you have all the information right, and then post it. Because I know I've been a victim of this. I've shared and posted stuff that I thought was right, but it ended up being wrong. So like, if something sounds fishy, maybe don't post it or something unless you have a better idea of what you're posting.
I don't like people who don't like coffee.
I'm gonna go. I still have to say my least favorite thing is thoughts.
Thoughts. Toxic Crew will end all thoughts.
Yeah.
2017.
I'm heading the Thought Patrol. Also, my other least favorite thing probably would just be the SUNY Purchase Open Forum.
Oh my god.
That's you know.
I mean, usually the interviewer is supposed to put his 2 cents in, but I'm gonna add something. I don't like people who just randomly talk without knowing what they're talking about. Like John over there, on an experience today where this dude posted about the new movie that's coming out called Split. And he was talking about, it's an attack on DID and ableism and all this other stupid crap. And then he started threatening me.
Jeez.
And yeah, it got really, really stupid. I don't like stupid people.
No stupid people, no thoughties.
Toxic crew don't fuck with stupid people.
Toxic crew doesn't fuck with thoughts.
No, we do not.
No. Always wear a condom.
So anyway, this has been Toxic Crew.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us, Brute Force.
Arf arf.
Shout out to everyone over at Brute Force. Major respect
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
what you do.
Thanks for giving us your attention, guys.
Thank you for live streaming our show. Thank you for doing this interview with us.
Of course, guys. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, Burt Force out.